Hello and welcome. Today we'll be exploring a dynamic and multifaceted topic, life in America. Whether you are curious from afar, considering a move, or simply seeking to understand the fabric of American society, this comprehensive guide will offer valuable insights. Together we'll cover history, daily living, cultural patterns, social dynamics, and what it truly means to be a part of American life. Let's start with the foundation, history and values. America, or the United States, is a relatively young nation, just over 2 centuries old. Born from a Declaration of Independence in 1776, America's story is deeply infused with the ideals of freedom, self-governance, and the pursuit of happiness. The Constitution, crafted in 1787, remains a cornerstone document, placing a premium on individual liberties and rights. These founding values continue to shape national identity and influence daily life. Life in America is marked by diversity, geographically, culturally, and ideologically. The United States spans an entire continent, stretching from the Atlantic to the Pacific and from the forests of Maine to the deserts of Arizona. There's a patchwork of climates, urban centers, and rural towns.
Culturally, the US is a mosaic. Over centuries, waves of immigrants from every corner of the globe have arrived and contributed their languages, foods, beliefs, and traditions.
Encounters and sometimes tensions between different cultures have woven a complex national tapestry. Modern America is home to over 330 million people, speaking hundreds of languages. English is the dominant tongue, though Spanish is widely spoken. It's important to note that the American experience can differ vastly depending on where you are and who you are. Life in New York City, with its bustling streets and high-rise skyline, feels entirely different from the slow pace of a rural town in Nebraska. But certain threads run through much of American life. Let's discuss some of these common points, starting with daily living. Housing and neighborhoods in America are as varied as the people who live in them. In big cities, many Americans dwell in apartments or condominiums, compact and vertical, often with access to public transit and businesses. In suburbs, single-family homes dominate with tree-lined streets, lawns, and driveways. Suburbs offer what many perceive as the American dream: a private home, a yard, perhaps a picket fence. Affordability and location largely determine whether someone buys or rents, with housing costs fluctuating dramatically between regions. Neighborhood life can be both private and communal. Some Americans know their neighbors well, organizing block parties or neighborhood watch groups. In other places, privacy is deeply respected and interactions remain minimal. Suburbs, particularly those built after World War II, are often car-dependent, while urban environments tend to be more walkable. Turning to transportation, a core aspect of American life, the private automobile reigns supreme. For most Americans, daily commuting involves driving, whether to work, school, or errands. Highways, interstate systems, and extensive road networks reflect this car-centric culture. Public transportation exists primarily in larger cities. New York, Boston, Chicago, and San Francisco offer robust subway and bus systems. Elsewhere, limited public options mean mobility often requires private vehicles. Air travel is another key link, as the vast distances between regions can make train or car travel impractical for long trips. Let's move on to work and the economy, fundamental to the structure of American society. The United States maintains the world's largest economy. Its labor force is diverse, encompassing technology, healthcare, manufacturing, finance, entertainment, academia, and an incredible array of services.
The economic culture rewards innovation and entrepreneurship, and the idea of working hard to achieve personal goals, what some call the American work ethic, remains powerful. Work in America is often fast-paced, with an emphasis on productivity, efficiency, and ambition.
Most Americans work 5 days a week, typically 40 hours. The importance placed on work can be seen in limited vacation days compared to other developed nations. 2 weeks of paid vacation annually is common, and longer breaks are rare outside a select group of professions. A big part of American work culture is the idea of meritocracy, the belief that effort and talent earn advancement. This ethos is reflected in competitive educational systems and job markets. However, it's also true that social and economic mobility is not uniform. Access to education, healthcare, and networking opportunities can influence success, and systemic barriers persist. Speaking of education, let's delve into another pillar of American life. Education in America is broad, decentralized, and reflects the nation's diversity. Children attend local public or private schools from around age 5 through high school. After high school, many pursue higher education. Colleges and universities are famously varied, from community colleges to world-renowned institutions such as Harvard, MIT, or Stanford. Academics are important, but so are extracurriculars, sports, arts, volunteer work. The broad curriculum aims to cultivate well-rounded individuals and foster critical thinking. However, the American system is not without challenges: variance in school funding, access and quality, rising college costs, and continued debate over curriculum topics. Healthcare is another significant facet of American life. Unlike many developed nations, the US does not have a single-payer healthcare system. Instead, a mixture of private insurance, employer-based plans, and government programs like Medicare and Medicaid make up the landscape. For Americans, navigating health insurance, medical costs, and coverage is a regular consideration. Emergencies and illnesses can sometimes create significant financial strain. Public debate over healthcare, how to make it more accessible, affordable, and efficient, is ongoing. Now let's turn to family and social life. The concept of family in America is flexible, encompassing nuclear families, extended relatives, chosen families, and single-person households. Marriage rates have declined and families come in all forms: single parents, same-sex couples, multi-generational homes. Children typically leave home at 18 or after college to seek independence. Life events such as graduation, marriage, and retirement are celebrated with traditional rituals and family gatherings. Friendships are also essential, often formed through school, work, shared interests, or neighborhoods. Americans value individuality but also the sense of community. Cultural norms encourage politeness, casual conversation, small talk, and friendliness, though what's considered appropriate or friendly can vary by region. Leisure and recreation hold a cherished spot in American life. Americans devote free time to a vast variety of pursuits: watching movies, exploring nature, practicing sports, playing video games, or visiting cultural venues. Spectator sports are especially popular. Baseball, basketball, American football, and hockey draw devoted fans. Local parks, hiking trails, and beaches encourage outdoor activities. Shopping too is a national pastime, whether at malls, boutiques, or online platforms. Food in America offers a world of flavors. While burgers, pizza, fried chicken, and hot dogs are iconic, a full tour of American cuisine would reveal influences from nearly every continent. You'll find Tex-Mex tacos, Vietnamese pho, Ethiopian injera, Japanese sushi, and more, sometimes served on the same block. Regional specialties: New England clam chowder, Southern barbecue, Chicago deep dish pizza, California avocado toast, celebrate local flavors and history. Celebrations and holidays are central to social life as well. Federal holidays like Independence Day, Thanksgiving, Memorial Day, and Labor Day bring communities together in parades, barbecues, and other festivities. Religious and ethnic holidays are marked with equal vigor in many communities: Christmas, Hanukkah, Ramadan, Diwali, Lunar New Year. Halloween, with its costumes and trick-or-treating, is a uniquely American phenomenon. Politics and civic participation are also key aspects of American life. The United States is a federal republic with government divided between national, state, and local levels. Elections for officials, from city council to president, occur regularly, and political debates, sometimes vigorous, sometimes polarizing, are a frequent feature of public discourse. Free speech, the right to assemble, and press freedoms are fiercely protected. Participation rates in elections vary, but civic engagement through voting, volunteering, or activism is encouraged and valued. That said, political polarization has deepened in recent decades. Media, social media, and differing priorities have sometimes created divisions. Yet, in many day-to-day interactions, Americans strive for civility and focus on shared goals. Dialogue and grassroots action remain powerful tools for change. Let's look now at the impact of technology on American life. The United States is a global technology leader, home to Silicon Valley and a wide array of innovators. The majority of Americans use the internet daily, and smartphones, social media, streaming services, and e-commerce are integral to life. Many work remotely, shop online, access telemedicine, and keep up with friends and family through digital means. Technology's benefits are vast, increasing convenience, productivity, and connectivity, but also raise questions about privacy, screen time, and information overload. Art, entertainment, and media also play outsized roles in shaping American lifestyles and global perceptions of America. Original art forms such as jazz, rock and roll, and hip-hop, film and TV made in Hollywood, and American fashion all contribute to a global cultural footprint. Americans consume and contribute to a wide range of entertainment: blockbuster movies, literature, podcasts, and visual art. Museums, galleries, theaters, and music venues are key facets of city life, while libraries and community arts programs reach smaller towns and suburbs. Media coverage, whether through television, radio, print, or online, shapes public awareness and conversation. The press is diverse and sometimes takes on a critical watchdog role, fiercely defending free speech, transparency, and accountability. Let's dive a little deeper into the broader social fabric, issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion. America is often described as a land of opportunity, but history and ongoing debates reveal persistent social challenges. The legacy of slavery, segregation, and institutional racism continues to shape American society. Efforts towards civil rights have achieved great victories, ending segregation, securing voting rights, expanding opportunities for women and marginalized communities, but progress is uneven. Social movements continue to drive change. The fight for racial equality, gender equity, LGBTQ+ rights, and immigrant rights remains active and visible. Younger generations lead much of this work, supported by allies across all demographics. While setbacks and disagreements occur, the drive for a more perfect union endures in civic participation and community action. At the personal level, Americans often express both pride in their freedoms and a sense of responsibility toward others. Charitable giving, volunteering, and disaster relief are hallmarks of civic life. Many aspire to leave their communities and the nation better for future generations. Now, let's consider the environment and America's relationship with the land. The United States boasts dramatic natural beauty, national parks like Yellowstone and Yosemite, the Grand Canyon, the Great Lakes, the Gulf Coast. Outdoor recreation is cherished, from camping and fishing to skiing and surfing. Environmental awareness is growing, with movements focused on conservation, climate change, and sustainable practices. At the same time, debates about energy, development, and resource management reflect the balance between economic growth and environmental stewardship. Weather and natural disasters can powerfully shape local life. Tornadoes in the Midwest, hurricanes on the Gulf and Atlantic coasts, wildfires in the West. These events demand resilience and preparedness, and communities often come together to support one another in times of need. It's also important to mention religion and spirituality, which occupy distinct spaces in American life. The United States has no official religion and guarantees freedom of worship. Christianity remains the largest faith, but vibrant Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, and other religious communities exist nationwide. Many Americans attend services regularly, participate in faith-based charitable work, or find spiritual fulfillment outside organized religion. Surveys also show a growing portion of the population identifies as secular or spiritual but not religious, reflecting changing attitudes and backgrounds. Let's discuss safety and the rule of law. For most Americans, safety is a paramount concern. Law enforcement is organized at local, state, and federal levels with a focus on crime prevention and community safety. The U.S. legal system is rooted in English common law and features due process rights and protections for defendants. Gun ownership rates are higher than most countries. The Second Amendment protects the right to bear arms, fueling ongoing debates about gun control and public safety. Social safety nets and community organizations also play essential roles in supporting those in need, whether due to unemployment, illness, disaster, or other hardships. Now, let's address some everyday experiences and customs that shape American life. Americans place a high value on punctuality. Being on time is a sign of respect. Tipping is customary in restaurants and many service industries. Shopping hours are generally flexible, with many stores and services open late or even 24 hours in larger cities. Casual dress is common, especially outside formal settings, though some cities or workplaces prefer business attire. Food and drink customs are also unique. Coffee is a staple, often consumed on the go. Fast food is readily available but coexists with farmers markets, artisanal cafes, and health-conscious eateries. Barbecuing, tailgating before sports events, and weekend brunches are popular traditions. When it comes to conversation, Americans tend to be informal and direct. Questions like "How are you?" are often greetings rather than requests for detail. Humor, optimism, and a sense of possibility color much social interaction. Travel and exploration are American pastimes. The country's sheer size means that cross-country road trips, family vacations to national parks, city breaks, and beach holidays are widespread. Popular destinations, Walt Disney World, Las Vegas, the Grand Canyon, draw millions each year. International travel is less common than in some countries, but Americans are increasingly exploring abroad. Let's touch on the experience of recent immigrants or newcomers. Moving to America can be exhilarating but also challenging. Many new arrivals face a period of adjustment, navigating language differences, finding employment, enrolling children in schools, and building community. There are numerous resources to help, from immigrant support groups to English classes and cultural associations. While the melting pot metaphor describes assimilation, the current trend is toward multiculturalism, preserving heritage while participating fully in American life. The challenges of life in America are real. Income inequality, political polarization, healthcare costs, and debates around identity and belonging pose ongoing difficulties. But for many, the freedoms to speak one's mind, pursue opportunity, express individuality, and participate in civic life are powerful draws. What does the future hold for life in America? Ongoing debates and unexpected events, technological advances, demographic changes, global challenges will continue to shape the lived experience. The country's openness to innovation, debate, and reinvention is its enduring legacy, fueling resilience across generations. As we conclude, a note about perception versus reality. American culture, especially as seen through television and movies, can create certain expectations of endless prosperity, ease, or excitement. But the true story of life in America is more intricate and lived in the everyday moments. Family meals, daily commutes, school games, volunteering, growth, setbacks, community conversations, and simple pleasures. Life in America at its heart is a constant balancing act between freedom and responsibility, tradition and change, individuality and community. Each person's experience is unique, shaped by history, place, and possibility. Thank you for joining this exploration of life in America. I hope you found it both informative and thought-provoking, and that you now have a more nuanced understanding of the American experience. If you have questions or want to learn more about any specific aspect, feel free to reach out. Until next time, stay curious.